What's up guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Hardcore LE playthrough series. Now it has been over 3 weeks since the previous episode, and it's mainly just because I've had to do some IRL stuff, and I did play a lot of POE in the middle too, and like a new SSF playthrough I started there, but that was just for the memes, and I was feeling a tiny bit burnt out from the LE playthrough, but it's been a while now, so I'm feeling good with it again. Made some new characters, featured some new highlights, and spoilers, maybe a few deaths too, so I'm thinking this could be a good episode. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a sec. Just a small thing here, but I started a new Shatterstrike character, right? And I just dropped this absolutely insane idol. If it had 2 more health, then this would be perfect rolled. So this is definitely going on the Lich. And I had another 5% idol that I could just swap over onto this one, and it had cold damage too, so this is even better. So the Shatterstrike character is into monos now, but honestly I really wasn't feeling this build this time. The previous times that I did it I was kind of hyped for it just because of, you know, it's like it definitely does have very good damage, very good tankiness on top of that and everything, but during this run I didn't get anything that like kind of hyped me for it or anything like that, and on top of that I'd already played it like 3 times, so I was getting a little bit bored of it and I was kind of regretting making this character now. I mean, I could always just leave it at this point, but for some reason I continued playing, and because of my lack of motivation of playing it and like the thing of not really caring about it too much, I didn't even manage to record it, but this character did die very early on and it's now gone. So I, luckily though, found a much better new class to play. So yeah, the new build that I wanted to play was the Bow Mage, and in order to get up to the Bow Mage point, I was going to level as a Bleed Bow Marksman, and honestly this is one of the best leveling builds. It's insanely powerful, it's very tanky too, and also it also has the thing of being ranged, like incredibly ranged, so you never even get hit. It's really good. So this next clip is featuring the Lich, and it's a very upsetting clip. Throughout, like in this part of the recording, right, my game was just stuttering and freezing like crazy, and at first it would just fix itself and not do it for a bit, so I thought, okay, let's just continue on. I'm moderately tanky, you know, if I freeze for a second I can recover and stuff, right? And what happens is here, I even complete the monolith fully and I'm ready to portal out and move on, right? But then my game just freezes for a long time, and at this point like nothing's working, I can't move, I can't teleport, like yeah. And then after the freeze is done, and I've stopped recording at this point because the monolith is over, right? I just need to teleport out. The Lich is just dead. All I can see is the main menu screen. And yeah, we've lost our main character now with all our best stuff and idols and everything. Feels bad. So I definitely wasn't feeling too good at this point, considering we just lost the Lich. However, the saving grace here is that when I switched to the Bleed Bow character, I honestly think it's way better than the Lich at boss clearing too. I mean, this is just while leveling, of course. Endgame it probably doesn't scale nearly as well, but at this point, throughout the campaign, this is honestly one of the smoothest campaigns I've ever had with it, just purely because, you know, because you scale bleed damage and physical damage, so your hits and damage over time do a lot, and yeah, I mean, this build is definitely bringing my hype back.
All that's left is locating the lance.
So, alongside the Bleed Bow Marksman, I also decided to level a new Necro character as well, because all my previous acolytes have been Liches. This time I was like, okay, I'm gonna level as Bone Golem, right, Retaliate Bone Golem, and see how it plays, and if I end up loving it, right, then I will transition into the full endgame Bone Golem setup. But if I was kind of like, nah, this is only good for leveling or early monoliths, then I can easily transition into what's it called, Flame Reefs, right? Because I have the Aberrant's Call, and while I did, like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I mentioned it in my previous episode, but I did lose a character with some Flame Wraith idols, but I'm just gonna need to drop a new one, and once that happens, then Flame Wraiths will be enabled. So that's hype. So the Abomination fight went alright with the Retaliate Bone Golem. Nothing too special because I was definitely focusing much more on health with this character this time, and that's because in terms of my gear, right, I still wanted to run the Woven Flesh on top, and while it does give a little bit of health, it's still nothing compared to those like nice Exalted or rares that you get that, you know, will have like 16% health on top of adding another extra 100 health on top of that, and maybe having a good implicit as well. So I really wanted to focus on that, right? I even have some Wraith gear saved up with +2 Wraith and then having this health on top of it, but I wanted to be careful and not run it too early and risk dying. So basically the plan is, right, as I progress through and I get better base type items, right, because I know on the boots and the helmet, well maybe not the boots actually, but definitely on the helmet you can get crit strike avoid as an implicit too, as well as an affix. So that's basically the plan, is as soon as I can cap out my crit strike avoidance through gear and blessings, then I can swap in this much new better armor, and then that way the health is going to shoot up while still being tanky. So that's the plan. So on to the Black Sun Monolith final boss now. I was definitely starting to feel like the not that I wouldn't say the limitations, but the slowing down of this build. And to be fair, that's alright because it is a leveling build, right? It's only gonna be good up to around level 70 anyway. And while I wasn't at 70 yet, I was only around the early 60s. It was still starting to feel like a little clunky. The damage was still great, right? But I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it too much, so I was pretty set at this point that no, I don't want to switch to the endgame version of this build. I'd rather go and switch to Flame Wraiths instead. But the thing is, I still hadn't dropped the second Flame Wraith idol yet, and what happened was, to increase my chances, right, you want to get the blessing of increased adorned idols, and you get that from the Fall of the Outcasts, the previous monolith, and I didn't get that as an option. So my plan is next to go ahead into that again, try to get that idol, so while I'm still going through the early monoliths, I can hopefully drop that one, basically. Yep. So I was just going through the echoes, alright, to get to Abomination again, and by happy chance we've actually managed to drop the Adorned Idol that we need, and it has pretty good affixes too, and now combined my two together, and you know the 22% that you get for free inside the tree, I have a 103% chance to summon Flame Wraith now, which is awesome because it means that we can fully play Flame Wraiths and we don't have to worry about it. And now I can also change around my gear and skills, so it's hype. So this is truly one of the absolute best features in the game. It's when you can basically fully respec your tree, and you can get back to the point at which you were only after running very few monoliths, right? Because as your skill level increases, so does the minimum skill level, and when you respec a skill, as you use that skill, it will level up like way faster and bring you back to the point that where you were. So when I had switched, right, most of my skills were at level 17 and 18. So, and now when I respect it completely, they started at, like, I think it was around level, it gave me like 8 to 10, just normal skill levels to put in. And then after that, you can also, you know, all the extra free levels we get from Aberrant's Call, and then any from gear as well, and then we just zoom straight back up as well, so the build gets enabled very quickly. It's super hype. And then there's also the passive skills that we reset, but the thing with that is that when you have hundreds of thousands of gold, spending like 20-30k to respect that is nothing either, so it's actually awesome. So just wanted to show how the Wraiths would handle Abomination, you know, they're not at their full power yet, like they still have a lot of skill leveling to do and everything, and oh my god, like I wasn't expecting them to literally kill it before it even came to me, and I don't even have Drain Life ready yet, to the point, you know, where Drain Life is used because it just recovers all your mana, and I hadn't even got the skill points in to use it yet, and they just shredded it. So this is making me feel really good. So it's almost time for everyone's favourite part of the monoliths again, Lagan. And this is where I was almost starting to like rethink, like, was it a bad idea to switch to Wraiths already? Because I mentioned this in one of the previous episodes, but there is a bug on Lagan, and I have seen other people get this bug quite frequently, where the Wraiths aren't hitting him. Like, they fire their projectile out, right? But then the projectile just gets destroyed before it gets to Lagan, so it never reaches his hitbox. So it's kind of like, your fight is bricked, you can't do any damage to him. So what are you meant to do? You can just retreat out and restart the instance. But then it's like, I don't know, I was a bit worried about this, because I was like, how am I going to tackle this? And then am I just going to go in, attempt it once, if it fails, go out, and then completely respec back to the retaliate, like, golem build that I was doing, because I still have all the gear and everything for it, but I would have to spend, you know, the gold again to thingy it, and then the time for it, then re-level up the skills, and it might be annoying that way. So it was a bit of a worry, but I thought at first, you know, hopefully if I don't get the bug, then I can just quickly clear it and move on, not have to do any of that. And my skills, I'm just leveling up now to the point at which I'll be comfortable enough taking on Lagan. Like, if they're all around level 15 and stuff, I should be good then. Yep. So I just wanted to revisit the bow character again real quick, as we were going to as like, you know, as long as the necro progresses further, there's a chance I might drop the bow that I need to swap into bow mage earlier, so I just wanted to get this character up to that point. This character is still insanely strong in my opinion, just its bossing potential is absolutely insane, but I do want to convert it into the clearing character instead, isn't it? Because bow mage can wipe entire screens, whereas, as you saw in the previous clip with the Wraiths, while they do have very good clear, if I'm like bunched up into a corner, the Wraiths can be a bit slow to get out because I need to summon all of them and everything like that until I get better cast speed. That can be annoying. So this is more so as like an insurance for it, and also just because having a proper clearer is really nice. Alright, so now it's time for Lagan. My skills are all around level 17, and the Wraiths are at like 21 at this point, so this is good. I feel quite strong, I have a decent amount of health, and just in case, you know, put the portal out just in case. And yeah, at the start, so he killed all the Wraiths, that's annoying, but after getting some of the Wraiths out and putting the I forget what that skill is called, you know, whatever's on my right click now. They just start shredding him. Like, look at his health. He phases at 50%, but they've literally got him to like... it's literally like 20% health already. And it's absolutely insane. But here's the thing. Now, right, the ad phase goes completely fine, it's no issue at all. And then when I get teleported back, I get the bug, right? The Wraiths, look, they're firing, but they're not doing anything, and I almost die here too. And the zombies hard carried, and they just cold him, because apparently it seems we got him less than 16% health. But yeah, this was scary. A quick explanation, as I only realized this after watching the footage, right? What happens here is that after Lagan kills the Wraiths, this skill in my skill tree activates where there's a chance for a volatile zombie to spawn on a minion death, right? And I literally had like 10 Wraiths out there, so like I think 2 or 3 of them spawned, and there's another skill within the volatile zombie skill tree where they have culling against any enemy that has less than 16% health. So yeah, they just went in, smacked Lagan, and yeah, they killed him. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. This one definitely did have its ups and downs throughout, but overall I'm pretty happy with the progression, and we should be definitely hitting Empowered in the next one, and it should feature some Empowered gameplay too. Not sure of how many characters I'm going to try to get to Empowered at the same time, but I'll definitely have the Wraiths there for sure. Don't want to jinx anything, but yeah. So yeah, stay tuned for the next episode, and thank you for watching again. Bye bye.